evening, classmates. So tonight I will be discussing about the technostructural interventions, specifically on the restructuring organizations. For today's presentation, we are going to discuss about the definition of technostructural intervention, definition of organizational restructuring, the organizational structure designs, and the redesigning of the organizational structure. Technostructural interventions enhance organizational effectiveness through improvements in technology. For example, task methods and job design and structure. Examples are the division of labor and hierarchy. So the goal of the technostructural interventions is to increase both productivity and efficiency, as well as influence how workers think and feel about their work. There are other technostructural interventions like business process redesign, change management, competency-based management, knowledge management, organizational learning, as well as changes in space and physical settings. The three general groupings based on the elements of an organization being targeted. We have these three: the organizational structure, employee involvement, and work design. So tonight I will be focusing on the organizational structure or organization restructuring. And for the employee involvement and work design, it will be discussed by Ma'am Caribbean later on. So we go on the organizational restructuring. It is the act of changing the business model of an organization to transform it for the better. These changes can be legal, operational processes, ownership, etc. The cost of such a shift in the company can be either external or internal. Structural design is the framework of an organization. It is often illustrated as an organizational chart that shows the different subunits and how they are connected to one another. It is also defined as an act that reorganizes the ownership, legal, operational, or any other structure of an organization for making it organized and profitable. For companies who are undergoing for organizational restructuring, maybe it's because the management want it to be profitable and organized to attract more customers. Next, we'll be discussing the organizational structure designs. We have 6 structures. The first one is functional structure, divisional structure, matrix structure, process structure, customer structure, and the network structure. So for the functional structure, it is the most widely used organizational structure in the world today. This is where the organization is divided into smaller groups based on its special functions, such as IT, finance, sales, and marketing, etc. This departmentalization allows greater operational efficiency because the employees have their skills and knowledge to be shared within the group. Some advantages of this structure are the team is managed by an experienced person with a high ability and skills who can adequately understand and review the entire work. Another advantage is that the team members work with other people in the field and it allows sharing of thoughts and knowledge to make the people learn new skills. On the other hand, it has also disadvantages, like because the people in the functional structure are grouped according to their special set of skills, role, or task, the entire team will operate well. However, the business strategies and the level of bureaucracy make it difficult to respond to changes immediately. Another disadvantage is that these functional groups may not be able to communicate more often, which decreases flexibility and innovation. This functional structure is also defined as this structure is based on early management theories regarding specialization, line and staff relations, span of control, authority, and responsibility. So that is functional structure. The next one is divisional structure. It is also known as a product or self-contained unit structure. It groups organizational activities on the basis of products, services, customers, or geography. All or most of the resources and functions necessary to accomplish a specific object are set up as a division headed by a product or division manager. For example, the General Electric has plants that specialize in making jet engines and others that produce household appliances. Each plant manager reports to a particular division or product vice president rather than to a manufacturing vice president. In effect, a large organization may set up smaller, sometimes temporary, special-purpose organizations, each geared to a specific product, service, customer, or region. Divisional structure usually consists of several parallel teams focusing on a single product or service line. Example of product line are the various car brands under General Motors or Microsoft software platforms. Example of service line is Bank of America's retail, commercial, investing, and asset management arms. The advantages of this structure are divisions work well because they allow a team to focus on their single product or service with a leadership structure that supports its major strategic objectives. Having its own president or vice president makes it more likely the division will receive the resources it needs for the company. And the disadvantages is divisions can bring compartmentalization that can lead to incompatibilities. Another is a company comprised of competing divisions may allow office politics instead of sound strategic thinking to affect its view on such matters as allocation of company resources. Thus, one division will sometimes act to undermine another. So that's for the division structure. We go to the next, which is the matrix structure. It is design originally evolved in the aerospace industry where changing customer demands and technological conditions used managers, caused managers to focus on lateral relationships between functions to develop a flexible and adaptable system of resources and procedures and to achieve a series of project objectives. It is also the combination of functional and divisional structure. Matrix, matrix structure, it is now used widely in manufacturing, service, nonprofit, governmental, and professional organizations. These structures allows employees to report to two or more managers rather than one manager overseeing every aspect of a project. This type of structure is often used when skills need to be shared across departments to complete tasks and can allow companies to utilize a wide range of talents and strengths. The advantages of this structure is it increased communication efficiency. This allows multiple departments to easily communicate and collaborate on a project. Another advantage is that it improved employee motivation as it increases teamwork within the organization. Employees work across multiple projects and with various departments within the company. This increases employee interaction and promotes a better sense of teamwork. The disadvantage of matrix structure is that it creates potential conflict between managers and projects because matrix requires employees to answer to two or more managers and work on multiple projects. It could cause workers to become conflicted between managers and projects. Also because there are multiple managers in charge, there is the potential for inconsistent managing directives among teams. So that is for matrix structure. Moving on to the next structure, which is the process structure. Process structure typically referred to as horizontal, boundaryless, or team-based organizations. They are used to enhance customer service. Process structure eliminate many of the hierarchical and departmental boundaries that can impede task coordination and slow decision-making and task performance. This newer form of structural design has multidisciplinary units formed around core processes, emphasizing natural rather than vertical relationships, and places all functions needed to produce a product or service under one unit headed by a process owner. The use of process-based structure is growing rapidly in a variety of manufacturing and service companies like the American Express Financial Advisors, the Healthways, Johnson and Johnson, 3M, Xerox, and others. This structure has an advantage. One is it adapts to environmental change rapidly. Another is it focuses resources on customer satisfaction. It has also an advantages. First one, this structure may take longer to make decisions in teams. Another is it can be ineffective if wrong processes are identified. That is for process structure. The next one is the customer structure. It focuses subunits on the creation of solutions and the satisfaction of key customers or customer groups. This structure seeks to provide customers with the best solutions possible with customizable bundles of product. This one, the variety of organizations including the Lord Corporation, DOW, IBM, and Citibank have implemented these complex structures. This structure focuses more on the solutions for customers, unlike with the product structure, which focuses more on the product for customers. So it is more on the customer satisfaction. The advantages of this structure is it generates a deep understanding of customer requirements. Another is it enables organizations to customize and tailor solutions for customers. The disadvantage of this structure is that customer teams can be too inwardly focused. The next structure is the network structure. Network structure manages the diverse, complex, and dynamic relationships among multiple organizations or units, each specializing in a particular business function or task. It is also described as the pizza structures, spider webs, starbursts, and cluster organizations. It is also a structure where organizations best suited to this are in highly complex and uncertain environments with goals of organizational specialization and innovation. The example of this structure, we have companies such as the Apple Computer, Sun Microsystems, Nike, and Merck, which have implemented the vertical market and intermarket network structures. So the advantages of this structure is that it creates a best of the best organization to focus resources on customer and market needs. It also permits rapid global expansion. The disadvantage is that it may give partners access to proprietary knowledge or technology. So that's the the organizational, the 6 organizational designs. So moving on, we have the next topic, which is the redesigning the organizational structure. So we have here 5. So the first one is the organization design. Organization design it is an intervention that deals with the organization's architecture or the extent to which structure, work design, human resource practices, and management and information systems are in alignment and support each other. The structure of the organization sets the framework for other organization design decisions and supports the strategy since this dictates what activities are most necessary. The organization design process has 3 steps. The first one consists of clarifying the design focus by examining the organization's strategy, objectives, and capabilities needed to achieve them. The second step is designing the organizations. The design process addresses details of the components, generating alternatives, and making specific design choices. And the final step is implementing the design. It involves putting into place structures, practices, and systems. So that is the organization design. Next one is the self-designing organization. It is an intervention wherein the organization is able to alter itself. It is a highly participative process involving multiple stakeholders in setting strategic directions and designing and implementing appropriate structures and processes. In here, the organization learns to design and implement its own strategic changes. It has the built-in capacity to transform itself continually to achieve high performance in competitive and changing environments. So that is the self-designing organization. Moving on, the next one is downsizing. Downsizing it is changing the structure of an organization to reduce its size either by decreasing the number of employees or by reducing the number of organizational units or managerial levels. It also represents an opportunity for an organization to rethink its strategies due to the choices it presents to the company as it moves forward. That's according to Marlowe Jr., Hoffman, and Bordelon, 1992. So this redesigning structure, this typically is accomplished by decreasing the number of employees through layoffs, attrition, redeployment, or early retirement, whereby reducing the number of organizational units or managerial levels through divestiture, outsourcing, reorganization, or delayering. It is also a go-to option for organizations in a financial bind because labor is expensive and reducing it can bring immediate relief to the organization. So for the downsizing, this is being done maybe because of financial struggles of the company. Moving on, the next one is the organizational process review. It is a step-by-step methodology which identifies dysfunctional aspects of workflow, procedures, structures, and systems, and then realigns them to fit current business realities or goals. Afterwards, the organizational process review develops plans to implement the new changes. The process focuses on improving both the technical and the people side of the business, and in turn, this produces improvement across all facets of organizational life, such as the customer service, profitability, operational cost, and efficiency. So that's the fourth redesigning structure. So the last one is the process reengineering. It entails radically redesigning how subunits work and how they work together to achieve tighter cooperation and coordination of tasks. It also entails breaking specialized work units into more integrated cross-functional work processes, making work processes faster, leaner, and more flexible to respond to rapid market changes. So in here, engineering is implemented alongside information technology systems to facilitate cross-functional business processes. Results are better when key value-added business processes are chosen, when there are clear objectives set at the beginning and there is both involvement as well as commitment from the top management. So that's all for the organizational structure. The second and the third topic of Technostructural, the employee involvement and the work design will be discussed by my partner, Ma'am Carobin. So that's all. Thank you for listening.